Today, I want to talk about how either Citadel or the SEC has leaked the true number of both AMC and GameStop shares in existence. This isn't just a glitch that impacts one company, it's actual reported data coming directly from Northern Trust that impacts both companies. So stay tuned and let's make some money. I also wanted to quickly announce the Labor Day sale at the Millionaire Mindset Trading Group. Just use code LABOR-DAY, all as one word, all in capitals, at checkout for $100 off the price of the lifetime membership or 25% off the price of the monthly membership, using the link in the description below. So I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, first, let's go over the screenshots, what the screenshots are actually showing and how many shares actually exist, and then talk further about where this data is actually coming from. So firstly, Bigums has posted this screenshot saying the 4.7 billion shares of GameStop that people are showing me. Check the site's data source, and I'm sure the hedge funds will say that it's a glitch. So this data is coming directly from the Morningstar website, which obviously shows the filings from a number of different institutions and how many shares of GameStop they're holding. Included in this list is companies like Vanguard, like BlackRock, State Street, Fidelity, and others that own multiple million shares of GameStop. But up here at the top, we have NT, EXT or Extended, EQ or Equity, MKT or Market, Index, FTD Lending, which has 4.7 billion shares. So in a second, I'm going to explain exactly what NT, EXT, EQ, MQT, Index, FTD Lending actually is and what they're actually holding. But right off the bat, that's a ton of shares. That's one individual real company that's just reported, or at least one individual real index fund that's just reported they're holding nearly 5 billion GameStop shares. As this account on Twitter has tweeted, he said that's worth $133 billion worth of GameStop shares held by one company. And again, it's not just with GameStop, because the exact same company on the exact same website is holding nearly 15 billion AMC shares. Again, it's that same NT, EXT, EQ, MKT, Index, FTD Lending, holding, as I said, 14.9 billion. Again, it's in that same list as Vanguard, BlackRock, Fidelity, State Street, and others holding multiple millions of AMC shares. Now, this actually makes a whole lot of sense, as this number of shares is very close to or exactly what was widely speculated in terms of how many AMC shares actually exist. For a long time, we've estimated, even back in 2022, 2023, that between 2 to 10 billion AMC shares were in existence and had been sold short. Now, obviously, if we estimated between 2 and 10 billion 1 to 2 years ago, that number could have easily increased now to 15 billion or above. Again, same with GameStop. We know GameStop is a company with a higher share price, so in theory there would also be less shares in existence and sold short, and 5 billion is about a third of the number of AMC shares sold short. Or at least where shares have been sold multiple times over, creating synthetic shares to the point where multiple times the float is held by just one company. But again, arguably the all-important question, what exactly is NT, EXT, EQ, MKT, INDX, FTD Lending? Well, when you Google exactly that string of words or string of letters, you get taken here to this website from Northern Trust. NT being Northern Trust, EXT being Extended, EQ, MKT being Equity Market, Index Fund, DC Lending. So effectively this is shares being held by Northern Trust Equity Market Index Fund. Again, an index fund is basically an ETF that holds shares on behalf of a company like Vanguard or BlackRock, or in this instance, Northern Trust. Now, so what actually is the Northern Trust Asset Management Extended Equity Market Index Fund DC Lending all about? I also wanted to go through today's trade on AUUD from the Millionaire Mindset Trading Group, which is currently having its first day of the Labor Day sale. So today I told the group that AUUD had been a great stock for us in the past and that it's just released news of a deal with both Apple and Android, telling the group I'd set my price alerts at $1.24, ready to buy that breakout. I then also told the group exactly when I was buying AUUD at that breakout time, where it then ran nearly 30%. Today, members of the group like Snowbird and Kaz and a bunch of others managed to capitalize. Snowbird made over $350 in just this one trade, and Kaz made nearly $300 in this trade as well, nearly paying for their lifetime memberships from just one trade. So guys, be sure to use code LABORDAY, all as one word, all in capitals at checkout for $100 off the price of the lifetime membership and 25% off the price of the monthly membership, using the link in the description below. Well, under investment objective, it says the primary objective of the Northern Trust Collective Extended Equity Market Index Fund DC lending is to approximate the risk and return characteristics of the Dow Jones Complete Total Stock Market Index. And to achieve its objective, the fund employs a replication technique which generally seeks to hold each index constituent in its proportional index weight. aka the Northern Trust Extended Equity Market Index Fund wants to hold shares of companies included in the Dow Jones Total Stock Market Index in that same proportional weighting. It employs a replication technique to do that and also makes use of futures and/or options for the purpose of maintaining equity exposure. And also, you guessed it, the fund may also participate in securities lending. Shock. So it also wouldn't surprise me if all 15 billion of these shares are also lent out for the purpose of being sold short. What I also find really interesting is it doesn't even seem like a fat finger error either. It's not like they're holding 14,949,000,000 where the decimal point is clearly in the wrong place. They're holding a very specific number of shares. And therefore, what I think is that Northern Trust have accidentally reported exactly how many shares of GameStop and AMC they're truly holding. Now, as the Wandering Capitalist has tweeted, he said as the price of GameStop attempts to rebound, the short selling climbs to new highs to try to suppress the price. And he said it seems that the shorts are the ones who can never afford to forget GameStop. So what we can see from this chart is the GameStop short sale volume between August and September of this year. So we saw the GameStop short sale volume had been decreasing, but all of a sudden over the last couple of weeks, that's absolutely skyrocketed. Clearly, we can see that shorts are whopping up massively the number of shares they're shorting on GameStop to try and suppress the price. Again, I'm sure the exact same thing is happening on AMC as well, but it's so interesting that it's not just happening on AMC, but on both of these companies. And the French AMC ape has noticed a very interesting correlation between the unrealized losses that banks are currently holding and us retail investors. So Radar tweeted this screenshot, which I've shown you in previous videos, which shows the number of realized and unrealized losses that banks are currently holding and have been holding over the last couple of years. So we know that especially at its highest, banks have been holding over $500 billion in unrealized losses. But the French AMC ape has pointed out there's always two sides to every trade. For one person that makes a loss, somebody else makes a profit. And for somebody that makes a currently unrealized loss, somebody on the other side has an unrealized gain. So those unrealized losses for those banks and for those hedge funds are effectively currently unrealized gains for retail investors. And obviously one of the banks holding the largest number of unrealized losses is actually Bank of America, which is currently sitting on unrealized losses of almost $115 billion. And said a US debt default or even just a recession can effectively mean the death of Bank of America, saying their plan is to effectively consolidate power among just one or two banks. And Travis has pointed out an interesting sequence of events also involving Bank of America. He said Bank of America is Citadel's prime broker. Bank of America and their platform has been showing customer price glitches or customer data glitches on their app, and Bank of America is obviously sitting on huge unrealized losses, and Warren Buffett has been dumping tons of Bank of America stock in mass. Logic obviously tells us that Bank of America is struggling, especially if Warren Buffett is selling shares, and he's also selling shares in Apple as well. And of course, Bank of America is Citadel's prime broker, which is potentially causing those huge unrealized losses. Frank Stocks also explained exactly the role that Bank of America plays for Citadel and in Citadel's trading strategies. He said the relationship between BofA and Citadel means that BofA is responsible for handling a significant portion of Citadel's net derivative assets, which are fully pledged as collateral, reportedly around 96.69%. Basically, Bank of America clears all of the transactions for Citadel. Citadel has also pledged all of their assets as security on loans, and obviously those loans are effectively pledged with BofA. He said as a prime broker, BofA provides essential services such as trade execution, clearing, and financing, which are crucial for Citadel's trading strategies. And of course, the only way BofA provide that financing or provide those loans to Citadel is with assets pledged as security or pledged as collateral. And therefore, the close relationship means that Citadel's trading strategies and financial health and all of their assets are somewhat intertwined with BofA's performance and stability. And any significant financial issues that BofA may be suffering, such as hundreds of billions in unrealized losses, also has an impact on Citadel. Basically saying in the event of a Bank of America collapse, Citadel would also be going down alongside. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.